dark. Pitch dark. It's not raining at the moment, at least. But it is pitch dark, wet, crappy out here. It's a beautiful Portland day. This is our normal weather, except that it's not raining at the moment, which means it's actually a nice Portland day. Come on, people, move it through the intersections here. There's our 15 bus. As we make our way to Beaverton Transit Center, running a little bit late here, but that's okay. I've got my hero driver, Andy, on the 58. And I've got my phone to call him and tell him, don't worry, Andy, I'm on my way. You can go home now. Yeah, on my next sign up, it's going to be the diametrically opposite experience from this one. In this particular sign up, I have, the bus can be substantially late and I can still leave on time because they have enough recovery time in here. So I got like a 30-minute recovery time, so Andy hasn't been so bad. But last time the Hawaiian was late all the time. Andy does a good job of getting this bus on time. But we don't have any. I don't have to worry about setting my bus up and leaving on time. Now, next sign up, we have a completely different setup. We have we're going back to that 67 again. It's the same one I had before, remember? Jump in the seat, take off. No, just set up as you're going down the road. Get down to Beaverton. Hopefully I'll have enough time for a cup of coffee, run in the bathroom. Ooh, look at that Max, man. It's packed. Jeez, it's a sardine can if I ever seen one. Look at all the traffic. As you can see, those Maxes are packed, so I don't know, whoever thinks that Max doesn't carry anybody, he's gonna have their head examined. Let's see, yeah, I think 58 might be behind me. I think Andy's behind me. 3 minutes past his time point. Of course, I don't have to deal with any of this crap. I have 67 doesn't come down these highways, doesn't go into Portland. Much more boring run than 58. 58, kind of exciting run in its own way. But I gotta tell you, I ain't gonna be missing downtown Portland. I've had enough of it. 6 months of it's enough. I really don't like driving in Portland. 67 is such a tame drive compared to this 58. None of the weaving and bobbing you have to do in downtown. The highway can be a little strenuous at times here because people don't know how to drive. It's not my driving that's the problem on the highway. It's the other people who don't know how to drive on the highway that threaten. Yeah, see, there's Andy. Can you see that? I don't know if you can see. He's right behind me, which is a good place for him to be. Stop vehicles ahead. So that new route, I have no time to set up the bus. I always, and I did an RSA on that. RSA, request for safety assessment. And I got the old smug answer, well, we program these routes so that you will have enough time somewhere else to make up for that. Yeah, it's absolutely absurd, but that's what you'd expect from our management, ridiculous answer to a real problem. The only thing they can do that's of any concrete value is make us go to a class. They haven't done anything. They moved some stops around. I don't really think there's been any problem with any of the stops. This is all because Sandy Day, who did a courtesy stop, then proceeded to kill a couple of people, which has led to the 9/11 of TriMet, which has led to this really oppressiveness on the part of our beloved management. at work earlier. You see, I'm leaving right now. It's 5 o'clock straight up. Well, it's actually 5:21 by the time I'm here. So I'm leaving the latest I've ever left for my job. I leave usually about 5. But I drive to Beaverton, and that's so much easier to get over to Beaverton than to get over to the Morello Garage. It's unbelievable. You know, it's almost like smooth sailing all the way to Beaverton. Yeah, I went to a union meeting today. It was basically a waste of time, as they always are. And I had my standard argument about trying to make, it's not so much me and Mr. Day wanting to make information publicly available so the company can use it against us. Obviously, that's not what we're trying to do. But what we're trying to do is to make it available to people that don't have a chance to actually go to the union meetings. You know, and I showed them there. I said, look, here is my my audio recording device sitting right here on the table. Let's turn it on. Oh, there's the police right there. Let's turn on the audio recording device and proceed to store the file. At the end of the meeting, I will hand over to you the audio recording device sound file, which you will then place onto your computers. You will have it on your union computer, which is only accessible by going to the union office and requesting to hear the union meeting. I mean, it's such a simple fix. I just don't understand what the resistance is. And they say, no, we want you to go to the meeting. And I said, well, a lot of people don't want to go to these meetings. I don't want to go to these meetings. I want to know what's going on, but I don't want to go to these meetings. They're brutal. You know, this is not a fun environment over here. This is like a brutal environment. I don't like going. I mean, you never know what's going to happen. It's kind of like a free-for-all, really. Whoa. See, now look at that. See, I'm getting off here right now. And look at that over there. It's crazy. It's all backed up. It's moving right along. It's just heavy traffic over there. Oh, by the way, I'm getting a little... I can't find my little tripod for this because I'm going to mount this camera facing out because it's winter time and it's a little bit more clumsy holding this thing in the winter time. So I have to pay a little bit more attention. If I'm pointing it at me like this, it's just not a problem. But you can't really see anything in the dark, can you? It's like I'm invisible. I mean, it would be so easy to make the meetings available, but there's a lot of, they just won't do it. It's transparency, and they don't like that. And John Hunt wasn't there, so they wouldn't answer my questions as to why he thinks he is not subject to the that Labor Act that we're voting. Well, Chris has got his attorney working on this, and we'll see how they handle it. I really can't believe that John actually stung on him. I mean, really. I don't understand why John felt it necessary to publicly humiliate him like that. I mean, he has consented to the search, and he still wouldn't let him in. See, it's like crazy. I mean, he wants Sandy Gage to let it. I said to Chris, you know, why did you leave? Let them pick you up and move you out. That's what I was ready to have happen. I'm not going. What authority do you have to remove me? You don't have. I don't recognize your authority to remove me from the meeting. You can search me if that's what you want to do. You can seize my devices. And when I walked into today's meeting, I took out of my pocket 3 recording devices. Here are my recording devices right here on the table. They're available for your inspection. Nobody inspected them. And even if I did record your stupid ass meeting, it would never be a public document, you know. Of what purpose would that serve? There's nothing in there that's particularly interesting, really. I mean, it's, you know, other than you look at it and you can hear it if you had, you know, I've always been a real stickler for thinking that it's very good to keep accurate records of meetings. I mean, I'm a documentarian. I believe in documentary evidence, and a historian. I believe in archiving information that's of value historically, and all of these meetings are important historically. And when I go back to my archives and I look back, it really is an amazing collection. I mean, it's an amazing collection of real life at TriMet. It's incredible living history. I'm very proud that, and TriMet themselves, even though they have a lot of difficulty with me, they should be really happy that this exists, because it's an incredible collection. It really is. You don't see anything like this anywhere. And while I still exist in pretty much obscurity, because nobody really cares about what a bus driver thinks, or do they even care about buses? You know how people feel about buses. You know, a rail blog might get a lot of hits, but a bus, from a bus driver, very, very obscure. But really, when you look at the archive, it's a fascinating, it's just fascinating for me to look at. I just, you know, when I'm going to retire here, which is quite very possible very soon, because you know why? I'm tired of putting on this monkey suit and driving over here and getting behind the wheel of that bus and being responsible for every single person that's on that damn bus, and knowing full well that anything that happens while I'm in charge, my ass is on the fucking line. Okay, I'm the one that they'll grill at the fucking barbecue if something goes wrong. I don't want to have Sandy Day type thing happen to me. And it could happen to any operator out here. You don't know what can happen to you. And as I even said to Lars Larson, I said, you know, you cannot stop incidents from happening. They're going to happen. Everybody loses attention once in a while. It's just the way it is. Speaking of that, however, I mean, there was something brought up at today's meeting about the inability of people to access the horn on the Type 4 and the emergency stop mushroom, I guess I call it, because the Type 4s are constructed differently from all the other rails, and so operators who have been riding these other, you know, it's just like a bus driver. I've been driving 1800s for years, and you've put me in a 2900 now, and I'm not going to know what to do. I'm in a completely unfamiliar equipment. I don't understand how it operates. I don't understand where the controls are. It's hazardous until I get used to it. Now they don't recognize that. The company doesn't recognize the hazard of having your operators change equipment abruptly. They don't recognize that as a safety issue, but it certainly is a safety issue. It's a safety issue like having a long, spread out work day. You know, you start at 6 in the morning, you get off at 7 at night, and you have this, you get paid for 8 or 9 or whatever, and you've been up for hours and hours now. That's a safety issue, but they don't recognize that. The company doesn't recognize it. They don't understand that you can't, it's a structural, safety is structural, it's not individual, it's both.